welcome back
to Swarthy
Nerd!
If white people remain silent while white supremacist violence continues unchecked, the harm eventually boomerangs back onto the white community themselves. Malcolm X warned, the chicken will come home to roost.
Well, I said the same thing that everybody says, that his assassination was the result of the climate of hate. But only I said the chickens came home to roost, and which means the same thing. Climate of hate means that this is the result of something.
Most white Americans do not live in majority black neighborhoods. So when a white supremacist attacks a black person, local white communities may feel insulated until that hate turns inward. Once radicalized, violence becomes too visible. Having nowhere else to channel their hate, redirected towards other white targets. Schools, movie theaters, shopping malls, all white public spaces become substitute targets. Over the past decade, mass shootings at predominantly white venues have surged. Instead of labeling them white supremacist attacks, the media often calls them lone wolf incidents, obscuring the underlying ideology. The same commentators who downplay white supremacist violence become outraged when black people protest racial injustice, labeling them violent agitators or demanding law and order. This double standard perpetuates white supremacy. When white people excuse or defend white supremacists, they tactically condone the ideology that will ultimately harm them. Each time you call out white supremacist behavior, whether it's hate crimes in a black neighborhood or a mass shooting at a white school, that voice chips away at the system of legitimacy. Silence or complicity allows the ideology to metastasize, eventually harming everyone. In the face of pervasive silence, you might ask, are there any good white people? Indeed, there have been and are white individuals who risk everything to stand with black communities. In 1676, Nathaniel Bacon led a rare multiracial uprising in Virginia, Bacon's Rebellion, bringing together poor white and poor black against Governor William Berkeley, who favored wealthy planters. When these poor whites and blacks stood together, the planter elite panicked. Suppressing Bacon's rebellion, the Virginia House of Burgesses passed laws in 1677 and 1680 defining white persons as those not of African descent, ensuring poor whites would identify with their oppressors rather than unite with black. That legal definition of white granted privileges, small land grants, easier access to courts, effectively fracturing alliance between poor whites and poor blacks, and undercutting future multiracial coalitions. Nathaniel Bacon's alliance with black laborers and his revolt against economic injustice made him a one-time positive example until authorities created race-based division to prevent similar rebellion. Nearly 3 centuries later, Gary Webb refused to stay silent about a scandal that devastated black communities. In 1996, he published the Dark Alliance series in the San Jose Mercury News, exposing how the CIA-backed Contras helped smuggle crack cocaine into black neighborhoods in Los Angeles to fund the Contra War in Nicaragua. Webb documented how Contra-affiliated dealers sold large quantities of cocaine in black neighborhoods, then laundered profits to support rebel forces in Nicaragua. He highlighted figures like Freeway Rick Ross, whose crack empire took root in South Central LA. Ross later claimed his dealers had ties to Nicaraguan traffickers protected by the CIA. Major news outlets, the New York Times, the Washington Post, and Los Angeles Times publicly attacked Webb's reporting, accusing him of poor sourcing. The Mercury News ultimately distanced itself from his series, leaving Webb isolated and under intense pressure. On December 10th, 2004, Webb was found dead from 2 gunshot wounds to the back of the head, officially ruled a suicide. Many believe foul play cannot be ruled out. His death remains controversial. Regardless, he paid a steep price, his career, reputation, and possibly his life, for exposing a scandal that targeted black community. Gary Webb's commitment to truth despite professional blacklisting and personal risks make him a singular example of a white ally who risked and may have lost everything. In August 2017, Heather Heyer, a 32-year-old white woman, was killed in Charlottesville, Virginia, when a self-identified white supremacist drove his car into a crowd of counter-protesters at the Unite the Right rally. Heyer had come out to defend her black friends and fellow activists against neo-Nazi violence. On August 12, 2017, James Alex Fields Jr. drove his Dodge Challenger into a group of peaceful counter-protesters, killing Heather Heyer and injuring 19 others. Her death underscored that white supremacists will not hesitate to kill not only black people, but also white allies who stand up for racial justice. It's a stark reminder that white supremacists are prepared to target anyone of any race who challenges their ideology. These three figures, Nathaniel Bacon's ill-fated multiracial rebellion, Gary Webb's tireless investigating and reporting, and Heather Heyer's fatal stand, showed that white people have risked everything, even their lives, to challenge white supremacy. Their actions prove that if your white allies speak up, the system's foundation begins to crack. Next, let's focus on Tariq Nasheed, an outspoken activist and filmmaker who has used his platform to expose white supremacy. In April 2011, Nasheed released his first documentary, Hidden Colors: The Untold History of People of Aboriginal, Moor, and African Descent, to spotlight how black history has been marginalized and erased. The documentary included interviews from scholars like Frances Cress Welsing, arguing that Africans circumnavigated the globe before Europeans and that ancient Asian dynasties had black roots. Many viewers credit Hidden Colors with sparking grassroots study groups, local screenings, and a surge of online discussion about reparation, black history, and the term woke. In June 2018, white supremacists placed a false 911 call to have him swatted, a dangerous prank that sent police to his house.
Officers creeped toward the home of Tariq Nasheed. He was sound asleep when police first tried to make contact by telephone.
They said, "This is the police. You need to come outside. What are you wearing?" So I hung up again. I'm like, that sounds weird.
A fourth call sent Nasheed to his front door.
I looked out the front door and there's people with guns pointed at me.
He called the police back and was advised to go outside with his ID.
They were told that there was bombs in the house and I had my wife kidnapped and tied up, and it was just a whole thing they made up. And again, the police kind of suspected that it could have been a swatting thing.
Swatting is when someone makes a false report to police, prompting an emergency response.
A lot of stuff we want to talk about tonight.
Nasheed is a popular figure on YouTube and has produced a series of documentaries about blacks in America.
Anytime you talk about racial injustice, that's going to make you a target. Going back and Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Dr. King.
He believes white supremacists are behind the swatting, the same ones that troll him online and have sent police on false reports to his public speaking events. This, though, is the first time he's been targeted at home and involved his wife and child. Nasheed remained cool but questions why he was handcuffed when police already suspected this was a bogus call.
They were actually good guys, and I take my hat off to them. They were very professional. But what if they weren't, though? You know, that's a dangerous situation to put somebody in, especially a person, a black American, in this day and age where you can be killed with impunity.
On YouTube, self-identified white supremacist commentators often trash Nasheed's channel, calling him anti-white or accusing him of peddling lies, despite his extensive citation of academic work. If you suspect a channel is white supremacist, search for negative clips about Tariq Nasheed. If most videos dismiss him as anti-white, that's a strong signal you're dealing with supremacist content. Everything Nasheed advocates, challenging the system of white supremacy with the system of justice, is rooted in the simple principle that no one should be oppressed because of skin color. By centering black voices, documenting hidden histories, and pushing for global solidarity, Nasheed's work continues to challenge the status quo. His fearless critique reminds me that if I don't study white supremacy's roots, I can't dismantle its branches. White supremacy isn't just extremist groups. It's woven into our laws, economies, pop culture, and everyday life. But awareness plus action can reshape these systems. Which examples resonated most with you? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this video helped you see something in a new light, like, share, and subscribe for more insights. See you in the next one.
I don't do the buddy, I just play my role. Cause snakes love the grass and they plotting on your soul. Everybody calling fan, but I don't feel the love. They wanna dab me up, but their energy's a bluff. Smiling in my face, talking sweet like honey, but behind closed doors they counting all my money. I keep receipts on these clowns, don't let them slide. Fake friends attack to stab your back with a smile that's wide. Now I got friends, just associates. Switch up quick like they venomous. They offer self, ain't no loyalty in this. I keep my circle small, just associates.